Hello and welcome to Education World. On this episode of Eduleader Speaks, we have with us Feroza Mehta Amin. Feroza is the principal of Lodha Oakwood School and has held the post since 2022. An educationist with over 2 decades of experience in teaching and leadership positions, she has a master's degree in sociology from Mumbai University. Previously, she spent over 20 years gathering enriching experience at the Cathedral and John Connon School, one of the country's leading schools, as the head of the IGCSE. She played an instrumental role in establishing IGCSE curriculum for the Cathedral and John Connon School. A passionate educator, she believes in continuously innovating teaching pedagogies to enhance the learning experience for students. Welcome, Feroza.
Thank you for having me here.
So, soon we're going to have a new government that's appointed at the center. Can you mention any two specific expectations that you have from the education minister?
Oh, well, I think I would like to see the upward trajectory of our education system.
Okay.
As well as I think I see a lot of potential in the NEP, which everyone's been talking about. And I think if really put into place and widespread, it's going to really change the landscape of Indian education.
Okay. Okay. And so far, what are your thoughts on the implementation of NEP? How do you think it's going?
I think overall, the policy, the way they've termed it, and I've been reading a lot about it, spectacular, groundbreaking. I think if, again, really put into place and is widespread, it's going to create a real big overhaul in the education system of India. Not only in the education system, but of course, it's going to impact our economy as well, big time. Another thing I really like, which echoes what Lodha Oakwood School basically talks about, our vision. It's about academic excellence, 21st century skills, children honing those, making them global citizens. The new education policy of India, basically looking at the Indian ethos, looking at global citizens, creating those, as well as children honing their 21st century skills, which I think is going to be excellent.
Okay. And, I think one of the most recent developments was about India welcoming foreign schools to set up campuses here. Now, for the existing Indian international schools, what does this mean?
It means us bettering ourselves every single day,
Okay.
understanding that the education world is dynamic and ever-changing, and we have to keep up with it. Okay. So again, at Lodha Oakwood School, what we follow are best practices from around the world, where, for instance, if we look at Sweden and Netherlands, which is like all child-centered, or we're looking at Germany and Switzerland, where they're skill-focused, or again, the rigorous curriculum of the Singapore, basically their math, which actually, helps the child reach the zenith and gets the best out of the child. So if we have this amalgamated curriculum that we curate, it's definitely going to help. Also in our school, we follow a global standardized test,
Okay.
which I'm extremely pleased about, which is the MAP test, which is from NWEA.
Okay.
This test basically enhances, it helps children. Firstly, it is adaptive. So it helps us understand where the child is and what we have to work with in order to get him to attain his growth target.
There are emerging courses, if I may call them so, most of these are around AI, robotics, coding, and they've gained a lot of importance over the past 3 or 4 years. What are some such developments in your school? Have you introduced them as part of curriculum?
Yeah, very interestingly, ours is a STEAM school, and we are very math and science focused. That is what we aim at. So we have very well-defined, carefully curated curriculum for the robotics programs.
Okay.
We have, in fact, coding being taught to children ever since EY3, which is our senior KG, as we look at it in the Indian curriculum. We also have children working on projects all through the year on various topics where teachers who are well trained are aiding them through it. They work on with their maker spaces in that with the topics they like. And by the end of the year, we actually have a huge showcase of which is called a STEAM fair, where
Okay.
they are able to explain exactly what they created and what is, how they went about the journey they traveled through in order to attain it. We also have a huge global, um, a huge global platform that we have created at Lodha Oakwood School, which is called the Tech for Change.
Okay.
This is basically a global initiative wherein we have tied up with Intel, where they are actually, having boot camps for students
Okay.
in the first stage, where they train the children in the AI of youth curriculum. And here, this AI-based, the children create AI-based solutions to real-world problems at the ultimate end of it. And then it's a competition of the last 10 teams who will then compete with each other and, be able to project exactly what they have created. So that's one huge event that we sponsor.
Okay. 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 So you also have collaborations with the Harvard Graduate School of
Right.
Education, and you also have certain engagements with the Cambridge Assessment International Education for facilitated development. Can you tell us about it? Can you give us some numbers on how many have benefited so far?
We work very closely, of course, not only with Cambridge and Harvard, where we send out our leaders. We did a course on universal design for learning. We also send out our teachers continuously for Cambridge workshops, seminars, so that they upgrade themselves and know about the latest teaching learning processes, the pedagogies, the curriculum change, best practices. And we also have tied up not only with that, but we also tie up with ECIS. I don't know if you all have heard of it. It's the Educational Collaboration for International Schools.
Mhm.
They have extremely interesting workshops and seminars for teachers and for leadership, and we attend quite a few of those.
Okay. Okay. Can you give us one word replies for the following questions? A thinker or
Okay.
philosopher that you follow?
Immanuel Kant.
Okay. Tell us about your leadership style.
I think it's democratic, and I hope it is.
Okay. And book on education that you think all educationists must pick up and read.
Make it stick. It's The Science of Successful Learning by
Okay.
Peter Brown. I like that one.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Feroza. This brings us to the end of the interview. It was very nice having you.
Thank you so much for having me.